The Bucks are off to a fast start at 6-3, but it doesn't come without a price. O'Neal Cruz is out for 4 months after fracturing his left ankle during Sunday's victory against the Chicago White Sox. The 24-year-old shortstop slid into home plate when a collision happened that caused the injury. The Pirates continue their homestand again against the Houston Astros tonight. Coming up on Daybreak, a top honor. A beloved Pittsburgh festival was just voted the best specialty food festival in the country. Find out what it is and when it returns this year. And it's a little bit chilly this morning, but a warm-up is on the way. Your 5-day forecast is next. On February 12th, tragedy struck New Zealand. Cyclone Gabrielle hit the northmost region of the island, causing 2,800 homes to go without power, fields of crops to be completely destroyed, and more than 3,000 people missing. The death toll this past week rose to 11, which is the highest that it has been since the disaster struck. Critical supplies have been dropped via helicopter to people stranded since the cyclone. So 2 days ago, the New Zealand Prime Minister extended the state of emergency. The government there has also released a relief package worth more than $186 million. New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins also said that the disaster was, quote, on a scale not seen in New Zealand for at least a generation, end quote. All 11 of the deaths have been confirmed and have been from Hawke's Bay, which is on the North Island, which is also where the cyclone struck. Prime Minister Hipkins also mentioned that the number of deaths would likely rise, adding to the destruction that it is hindering efforts to make contact with the people affected due to destroyed communications. So, as a result, New Zealand has launched 60 Starlink satellites developed by Elon Musk's SpaceX, with another 30 on the way to fill gaps in the telecommunications network as approximately 15,000 residents in the North Island remain without power. And Damar Hamlin is speaking publicly for the first time since he suffered cardiac arrest during the Monday night matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. The McKees Rocks native and Bills safety says he's grateful for the outpouring of support that he has received, and he continues to make his progress in his recovery. In 1935, Berg Place Housing in Carrick was built for mixed-income housing and is set to get a new renovation to be home for affordable and green living for residents in the Carrick area. The URA, or the Urban Redevelopment Authority, and City Councilman Anthony Coghill is set to hold meetings with Carrick residents as soon as developers have finished their proposals in order to fit the needs of the community. Brownsville Road is where Berg Place resides and is also home to many mixed-income housing communities. Berg Place is said to be a prime target for these renovations, as City Council believes that the redevelopment could encourage other buyers to do the same around the Carrick area. Following the derailment of a Norfolk Southern train in East Palestine, Ohio, residents of the area have since returned to work. That is until they started experiencing lingering coughs and chest pain. Now, since the attack, 8 class action lawsuits have been filed against Norfolk Southern. Residents have been claiming that they have been exposed to cancer-causing chemicals, and they no longer feel safe in their homes. Several other claims have been experiences of financial struggles and residents being away from their homes. So, what caused these lawsuits was that the derailment itself has been claimed wholly preventable, according to one of the numerous suits engaged by East Palestine residents that was. So, out of all 8 of these lawsuits, residents are seeking about $5 million in property damages, economic loss, and exposure to toxic chemicals. Attorneys of the class action suit said, quote, while the lives impacted by this wholly preventable catastrophe may never be the same, we are committed to holding Norfolk Southern accountable for its actions and inactions in serving justice to those whose lives have been disrupted and remain in danger, end quote. This past week, 2 banks in Shadyside neighborhood were robbed. Now, the suspect here is Rashawn Coleman. He demanded $50,000 from a teller at a PNC bank before leaving right before police got there with only $600. Now, the next day, Rashawn went back to a First National Bank within Shadyside as well, escaped with $6,000, and was arrested whenever leaving the scene. I'm here outside of Cafe Momentum, which has just opened up right outside of Market Square in downtown Pittsburgh. The cafe is employed entirely by teens who have been in and out of the juvenile detention system. Now, these teens are getting paid internship hours for all their services, where they also get social and mental help. That's right. In spring of 2022, Mayor Ed Gainey and Erica Strasburger had passed a bill to take place in late October that would ban single-use plastic bags. Now, shoppers will be encouraged to use renewable bags, but plastic ones will be provided for 10 cents apiece. That's right, police arrived at 4:45 p.m. at this Homewood North home after a call that there had possibly been a person dead inside. Now, upon arrival, they had gone up to the 3rd floor where they had found a man dead with multiple gunshot wounds to his face. So now the death has been ruled a homicide, but police are still investigating. Stick with Newsnight for developing details. That's right, Cade. The weather is absolutely perfect here on the North Shore. Now tonight, the Pirates are facing off against the Houston Astros, who are both looking to work their way up in the ranks. As of right now, the Pirates sit 1 game back on the Milwaukee Brewers. Tune into the game tonight at 7:30 p.m. and watch your Buccos take on the Astros. Back to you. Pittsburgh has been home to NFL star quarterbacks for decades. Figures like Ben Roethlisberger, Dan Marino, Terry Bradshaw, and now Kenny Pickett. So in his rookie campaign, Pickett averaged over 2,400 passing yards in just 13 games. So with these stats, he has put the NFL and the city of Pittsburgh on notice.
I think Kenny's a leader. He showed it at Pitt, especially his senior year. As a Penn State fan, it was kind of tough watching him, go and win the ACC. But he took that team to the next level, and a lot of that was him, and a lot of that was his attitude. And we kind of saw it here in Pittsburgh, especially toward the end of the season.
And it was Kenny's ability to connect with fellow rookie star wide receiver George Pickens that helped the Steelers achieve great success in the back half of the season.
This is a guy who can go down the field. He can out-jump people. He's got strong hands. I think we saw that on display. And the more they work together, which is another reason why this year, I think, even though they didn't make the playoffs, it was important for these guys to work together, get that behind them, and then add on to it in year 2. And I think George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth will be even bigger and better than they were last year for sure.
So, will have Kenny Pickett's rookie campaign have set him up for what is to come in the future? Only time will tell. But for now, the city of Pittsburgh has high hopes for what is to come for the young NFL star and for the future of the Steel City. So, outside of Acrisure Stadium, this has been Jonah Sommers with Newsnight. Follow up with us in the coming months for details on Kenny Pickett's sophomore year campaign. Back to you at the desk. Right behind me last night at Stage AE, Pioneer Records held their Star Showcase, which had also benefited the Roland School of Business's SAEM program on their 20th anniversary. Pioneer Records is a learning lab that offers undergraduate and graduate students real-world music industry experiences and opportunities to work directly with recording artists, studio engineers, venue managers, and other industry professionals. Now, Pioneer Records was founded in 2014 by students in the Sports Arts and Entertainment Management degree program. The program gives students hands-on experience and gives them the direct involvement with marketing, operations, public relations, booking, and many more.
I'm excited for it because it's very different than the past Pioneer Record events because it is that SAEM 20th anniversary. It's going to be bigger than past years. I think there's a bigger budget. I don't know exactly, but I think it's just going to be bigger, a lot more people, and it's Stage AE, which is always awesome to go to.
After a fantastic turnout last night, Pioneer Records is already looking forward to next year. So in downtown Pittsburgh, this has been Jonah Sommers with UView Television.